set the pace when I'm running.
Hello, and thank you for joining me again today with another edition of Up and In, where I answer questions from parents, sometimes student athletes from across the country via social media or email. And today's question came into me from Ohio, and it was off of a live stream that I've done with a college coach. And the question is, my son is able to throw faster, and he's very free and easy in practice and while he's taking lessons. But in a game, there's a big difference in his caliber and his effort, and his game seems to regress slightly when it's in competition mode as opposed to practice mode. And this is a great topic for all of youth sports, not just baseball. When I talk to parents and I do discussions with teams across the country, you have to remind yourself, in a practice environment, it's all generally positive. You know, you have your teammates slapping you on your back. Your coaches are typically putting you through drills and they're giving you praise. You know, after practice, parents are saying, "Hey, how was practice today?" And there's no real true emotional attachment or involvement for the student athlete. It's kind of devoid of that cloud of competitiveness. And when we get into games and we have umpires or referees and we have, adults in there yelling and screaming and coaches are getting aggressive, it starts to tighten things up. And anytime you tighten up in any aspect, whether it's physically or mentally, you're going to slow down. You're not going to move as quickly or as freely. And I think it's important now more than ever, the role of parents and the role of siblings during those moments of competitive events. I'll give you a perfect example. I was involved in a game as a dad. My youngest son was up, and it was a big game. They were down by 3 runs. The bases were loaded, and there was a video that circulated after the game. What transpired is my son ultimately hit a home run, which was good. But previous to that, he watched 2 pitches and he swung and missed at 1, and he was down, 2 strikes. And I got involved in the game, and I could hear myself say, "Swing the bat." Well, obviously the outcome was great, but after the game, my son was so emotional and drained, and he had been crying. And unbeknownst to me, even as he became an adult, I did not understand the significance or the ramifications of me in the background screaming. And I think it's important to create a quality, confident athlete. We need to allow them to understand that failure is going to happen. You have to show up and you have to compete. And as I've said, oftentimes it's critical to teach young athletes to not worry about the last, but to worry about the next. Don't get lost in your yesterday. Don't get lost in a previous moment. Be involved where your feet are now and compete. Let's say your son or your daughter makes a bad mistake that costs their team the game. You cannot broach that subject until the student athlete comes to you to want to discuss that. The other part of that is, after a game, it is important for parents to maintain positive body language and offer positive thoughts, regardless of the outcome. Team lost. My son made an error. The game was lost due to that error. Don't want to bring that error up. I don't want to say something like, "Hey, you were very competitive in that play. You put your body in the proper position." That's all you can ask. We can't script the outcome. All we can do is want the ball in those big pressure moments. And I'm proud of you because you put yourself out there to try and make that play. Or you could say something like, "I know you were giving it your all. You didn't want to strike out in that situation. Sometimes you just have to tip your cap, because that's going to happen when you meet a stronger pitcher or a better pitcher. You got to learn how they pitch to you, and don't worry about the outcome. There's going to be other opportunities." Those are the types of things that develop confidence in young athletes. Doesn't mean the world is going to be filled with chocolates and victories and positive outcomes. It simply means that you're going to be there. Whether they lose or win, that's not the point. They gave their best effort. They competed on behalf of the team. That's the message you need to send young athletes. want to thank you for that question. And I really encourage parents, leave some comments, leave some questions. If you find your way to this video, let me know. Tell me where you're from. Leave the state that you're watching this video in, and leave a thumbs up at the same time. Encourage you to subscribe. If you have questions you'd like to submit to me, leave them here on the YouTube channel. Down below in the description, we have my email address, all my social media. Find your way there and submit a question. Till next time, thank you.